Hi, angels. Happy Aquarius season. You obviously clicked on this reading because you know who you are. Which is an amazing thing. I have a huge ball of ice in here. So here's what I'm going to do, metaphorically for whoever this is. Break that up. Now the ice is broke up. Ice breaking. Breaking the ice. That might be what you're doing, Aquarius season 2026, whoever this is. I also took off my glasses, you know, and I feel like in that moment. Do you need something? Okay, that's not. So that's you. You're like, oh, never mind. That's a spirit message. It's like you're like, yeah, never mind. Just like do you see? I was like, you can come in. It's like, I'm not in trouble. So you're breaking the ice. You might need something. You know, you're taking off your glasses. Capricorn. Okay. My Capricorn was like, just now. And it's funny because I took off my glasses because I was like, oh, you know, you can really see my whole face. And then my Capricorn comes in and I know he loves my face. So this one's for you, baby. Happy. So you guys want to know something funny, Capricorns? I actually got you guys first. And I did a whole reading for you guys, like, top of the week last weekend, to start this all off. And it was a phenomenal reading. But I think that the universe, like, had it really sold out. And so one of the things that now, I just saw Era 100. So I just feel like the reason that reading didn't come out first and you didn't start off the zodiac readings and would refuse to upload was because you guys are going through a transformation. Like right now, I'm like bareback, stripped out, like down. I already told you. I don't know. I didn't tell you guys, but I told the last reading I just did. I just like ran out of time, so I haven't even so much as like washed my hair at all. I like literally been taking my hair down for hours yesterday, and I've just been so exhausted because January's been crazy, long month, a lot to do. So those are all things I feel like, and it's so funny because I talked about breaking the ice, and me and Dennis had, you know, Dennis is like my first and only artist resident I've ever gotten to work with for Tethered Studios. And we were doing some residency stuff the other day, and one of the things that we had him do spiritually was he had to like smash the ice that was on our trail. Like I had him just pick up a giant stick while we were on a walk on a trail hike, and I was like, you see this? There was like a bunch of shallow ice like that had kind of like formed over the grass in this sort of like submerged like muddy area. So I was like, take this giant stick and smash the ice. And we were having it represent really shattering illusions at this time, Capricorn. And then just now I started off and I was like shaking and I was like, oh, you might be breaking the ice. And I never uploaded the video of that either, of Dennis breaking the ice, but I also didn't upload the video of you guys' original message. And then Dennis came in just to be like, it's Capricorn. So you guys get to see magic in real time because I really didn't know who to expect. But I think the whole point of me coming back now is that the ice has been broken. The illusion has been shattered, because the first reading that I was going to tell you was really about helping you do that. And I feel like God just wanted, it's probably going to be much more of a timely message, because I think once the ice is breaking, you're in a very different energetic signature. So I'm very excited to do your reading right now because you're in a very different energetic signature altogether. But yeah, Capricorns, you're like, you know. So I'm very excited for you guys. Let's see what your first card out is. Happy Aquarius season, Capricorns. I'm really excited today, just in my spirit. So let's see. Capricorn, this is literally what just happened. So High Priestess is in here, High Priestessing. And then you're starting off with the Strength. Off top, Capricorn, I think the person that has given you the most strength would be your higher self. And I think for a lot of you, you are so loved by God that there are individuals in your life, individuals, things in your life that really, really help keep you strong because of what they see, how they keep you focused on the future. Like Capricorn, the reading that I had for you, the old one that I had for you was titled, "This Isn't Build a Bitch. Get Out of Capricorn's Castle." And that was what it was going to be titled, and it was going to upload, right? And it was all about, you know, you finally being empowered, you finally being in enough boundaries to be like, if I run all this and this is everything that I do, like, it was about your self-value, and it was about you coming into finally setting some really like strong lines that you need to set, just because it's about your life is about you. But I feel like when I was going to upload that, I was giving it because we're going to need strength to be able to initiate this kind of like removal of a succubus energy in your life. And I just feel like that already happened over the course of this Mars, Pluto, Venus, Sun, Moon active week, right? Neptune active week, where just shit got kind of broke up. The ice broke up. You know, maybe you broke up with something, or you just disconnected with something, or it's like something, because I genuinely feel like at maybe the start of January, you were really in a rapport with something that now you have already put a sort of cease and desist on. And so I just feel like, though, in order to do this, you really needed higher guidance. You really needed God. You needed your higher self, or you need that thing that represents outside of you, your higher self, so that you're strong enough to finally kick the bitches to the curb that need to go, you know? So I'm seeing that has already transpired by the time this message gets to you, to the airwaves. And you're standing in your strength, and you're realizing, I feel like, Capricorn, how much stronger you really are. Because I think you did something and you felt like maybe it's premature. You felt like, I don't know how people are going to take what I'm about to say. I don't know how, you know, you had all these anxieties because it's something you haven't initiated before because you weren't strong enough to. So when you're doing it now, I think you didn't think of it I don't think you thought of it as courageous as it actually was. Like, I don't think you thought like what you did was as like maybe even a big deal, because maybe to you it's just like responding to an emotional burden, or, you know, really just like putting a boundary up about like who can't take something from you anymore, right? But in the end, it's like, it actually proves to be like the strongest thing that you could have done. And January is definitely one of those months where it's just like, it feels like it's always like way too many fucking days in this month. And it's like also just like a lot of hard, gruesome, grueling work between getting up the mountain and then getting into the cosmos with Aquarius. It's a long trek of ascension from this during this month. But I just feel like for you to be standing now, Capricorn, in this place where you actually feel very, very strong. And again, I think you're very fresh. I think it's very new. I think you don't really see yourself in this context. That's why I'm coming on here to let you know. It's like you are so strong, because the connection and rapport that you have with your higher self now is the strongest relationship you possess. Because I think removing this burden, the burden that you removed, was the thing. Sorry, so funny. But removing this burden was the thing that was keeping you from having a stronger relationship with your higher self. So that's really why it had to go in the end. Look, Capricorn, the message that I was gonna put up, which I don't think it needed to come, because it's like, in so many words, how many ways can I be like, kick the bitch to the curb? But you had to cut off something from your resources. I think you were giving something, your most valuable pearls, which is your ability to manifest physically on this. So it's like your physical stuff, the stuff that you have, the stuff that your value, you were extending that to something that needed to be blocked. And I think the person that prompted you, that was trying to tell you, this is not respecting yourself, continuing to give to this thing unequally, Capricorn. And so it's like, you needed to put up this boundary so that they don't have access to all of your pearls. Again, this isn't build a bitch. You're not here to use your abundance to build a bitch up, because that bitch should be building themselves up. You need to kick them out of your castle if that's what they actually think is going on. Because you don't even want to be around people who want to try that. You know, you don't even want to be around people who want to try that for real, you know? You don't. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Because again, I think that you thought a message that you sent that could have been lighthearted or light boundary, like just letting someone know, like, dude, I don't like when you do this, or what it could. But I feel like you felt very like weak, because again, it's something that you've never cut this off. You've never set this type of boundary. But by doing this, I don't think you understand, because I think the other thing is, you did not see this as being connected to the reason why you never feel empowered. Do you get what I'm saying? You're a powerful ass person. That's not what I'm saying. You don't feel personally empowered by the life you're living. And it had to do, and I don't think you thought, because this high priest was trying to tell you, this is the source of why, like, you don't see how your money and the reason you don't feel like what you bring in is like enough, or it's like, you don't see how, like, until you put a boundary up with the succubus energy that is actually in your life, that is residually taking from you all the time, you don't realize how much they're taking from you. So that's why this truth that you delivered actually was a way bigger truth than you thought. It's actually like a Queen of Swords level truth. even though it may have been just like a message you had to send, a fucking something you had to do. But it actually puts you back in your Queen of Swords. It was actually a message God has been begging you to give. Wow. Capricorn, your message is going to be dumb short, dumb simple. You were in a lose-lose situation. You were giving to something that everyone loses. Even if you think you're providing something, because again, I think you were feeling like your nurturing was being abused because you offer a lot. Capricorns are always going to come to this planet with way more than they fucking need. You don't need it. That's why you guys are so philanthropic. That's why you always like have businesses to start, or, people to invest in, or shit to give to, because you just have more than you need. Genuinely. But there's no, in the recent past, God was trying to tell you, your wheel of fortune is being effective. If you don't cut this beforehand, you're about to spin the wheel. And I want the money to be in your hands. I don't want it to be connected to the things you got to give to other people, or be connected to, no. Right? Because in the end, this is about healing in the past for you. Times where you would go up to people and you would offer something to unrequited love, right? But why would we do that? Because from 11:11, what I see in the beginning is, again, the strength card, right? The ability to develop your God strength. Again, this isn't, for you guys, Capricorn, it actually isn't like a paternal or maternal wound. This is a wound that you had with God. You don't feel empowered. Like when God is actually your Capricorn, we talked about this. You guys know, you're on the channel. But like, you guys actually had beef with God. You know what I mean? Your beef was with God. And so the reason, when you're beefing with God, though, you can bring on demons. So like, if you're like not team Creator Prime Source, fine, don't be. But that's why you got a bunch of succubus demons around you. And so now that you are putting boundaries up against, because I think, Capricorn, your early life was so hard. Capricorns are going to be the type of people who's like, if God exists, what the fuck was that? Why me? If God's so nice and benevolent, why the fuck is my life like this, right? And so you might even be calling yourself a religious person, but you be hating God more than most people do. Because you be like, what the fuck, God? Why'd you put me out here as a Capricorn? This shit's ghetto. That's how you really be acting. Like, you really be, you do get beef, So you healed that because you want to be in your good graces with your higher power. But I think the thing that you had to cut off is a physical embodiment of the times when you were beefing with God. If you manifested a partner where it's a lose-lose dynamic, you just know you manifested them at a time when your faith was like, fuck God. That's why you went and tried to create it, right? A lot of you guys don't realize how satanic it really is to just like go out of your divine blueprint and be like, I'm subconsciously upset with my own creator, so I'm just gonna go pick and create a life. Because you might be trying to pick a partner from a well-intended place. Well, I want to pick somebody who I can, build a, decent house with, and, build a family with. That's not what we're here to do at all. You're just here to remember. You're not here to fucking make it up. You're not. So again, in the recent past, the reason you were being called, now whether you did this Aquarius season or not, the recent past you were called to make that edit because you were about to spin your wheel and the money's supposed to come into your hands. God wanted you to cut this off before that happened, because who would the money go to when your wheel? If you blow up and you're still married to a cretin succubus who's just stealing from you all the time, they take your whole check. They take everything. It will belong to them too. So again, the reason God was trying to tell you, this isn't just about romantic love. Friends that you're connected to, people that you give too much credit to. When you blow up, you don't want to be, like I tell my husband this all the time, be very careful about who you blast and what you blast. Specifically for him, because he's a 10th house stellium. His reputation is going to be in the public discourse. It will be seen by the world. So think about how many bitches could get free airtime if Dennis is just putting them on. I always tell Dennis, do as I say, not as I do, because he's not an Aquarius. So you don't have 11th house. He doesn't have 11th house selling frequency. So it's like, my story is very much a story of like, everyone that's ever been connected to me deserves for the world to see how special they truly were. That's why I highlight them. Dennis is like the opposite polarity, where it's like, he really should stick to fucking his bed, his wife, and God. That's it. He don't need to put nobody else on, because for him, when the bag comes in, it really don't got shit to do with nobody else. Like, Dennis's journey was not, it was the opposite pole. My journey was like, it took a village. For Dennis, it was like, it was just the guy. It was just him and God. So the only person he really needs to honor right now, when a big bag, but also it's more like who you're connected to. God wanted you to put up boundaries. I think you thought this high priestess was being really sharp by always suggesting, you need to leave this alone. You need to leave this alone. But it was because the high priestess told you, you're about to get even richer than you think you are. Like, Capricorn, I think you think like, yeah, I'm doing good, but you're about to get even, it's not even done yet for you. For Capricorn, as long as you're alive, your fucking money manifesting ability is going to continue to aggregate. I hope you know that. And so when the High Priestess comes up to you and is like, I know this sounds harsh, but you need to cut your mama off. Why? Because that bitch is a succubus on you. She, like, if someone's like, if they're already fucking off your cash money right now, and then you get another Wheel of Fortune, you get another raise, you get another opportunity for passive income, you get another boost in your stock, Capricorn, you're coating these bitches' pockets. So that it's really short, sweet, and to the point with you guys. You know, it really is. Look. And this is got to do, this is the huge split for you. You have to, because for you, Capricorn, you're locking in at this time. Right now is not light. The shortest, sweetest point of this message, think about the people that you really do need to come into union with. There's either people you need to come into union with all the way, and then there's people that need to be put to rest. There's no in between for you. So the organizing is here. I know it took strength all January because you were just getting example after example, but you have enough evidence now because I think you knew this already. In the recent past, you already knew. I know what's being tasked on my plate right now is to decide what to cut before I blow up, before my next blow up, because you always be blowing up, but before my next blow up. Not everybody gets to go, you know, before I get this next check that I'm about to get, who should and shouldn't be in it. And that just takes strength because it means you're going to, it's all going to depend on your boundaries. Because again, you're going to get this bag either way. You are. I just don't want you to keep commanding a lot of wealth with really bad boundaries, Capricorn, because that's the biggest problem here. You are definitely still the richest guy in the room. Definitely. You just have awful boundaries. That's why you don't feel as rich as you are. Because the money's seeping out everywhere. Right? So we want to keep yielding our sword of truth. We want to get stronger. I think the suggestion for you is like, don't keep talking to yourself. One of the things I've been telling Dennis is like, instead, it's not even just about confrontation. If there's things you got to confront, great. But like any confrontation, any truth that you are sitting within yourself, keep talking to yourself over it. Keep reminding yourself, this is where I'm at. This is why I make the decisions I make. This is why certain things do not support me at this time. This is why this is what I want to invest in, right? You just keep running that narrative and keep speaking your truth over yourself because again, you're growing in your boundaries, Capricorn. You were the richest man, the most powerful man and women out the whole time since Jit, but you were always taught to be like a small fry. You were always taught to be like really, really humble and meek, but that can't work for you, Capricorn. There can't be a meek mill on the inside of there. You know, let's not speak that prophecy over ourselves because you're running our realm of power and public reputation, public discourse, you know? Capricorn. Yep. It's time. Because what's coming down from Tethered is your own union. Your real union. The union of self is coming in. You've healed your wound, your beef with God. And now it's time for you to be at peace, at oneness. The last thing for that, in order for that to be facilitated, it just requires you to hold your God strength and be okay with like, I have to set boundaries now to protect the fact that my internal union is coming down. My light body is activating. That's what's happening to me is that. And in the near future, you're going to be asked to continue to feel, you're going to feel new because this is new. Again, Capricorn, I'm sorry that we live in a world where it's like new. You speaking for yourself and you telling what your perspective is and why you're not going to allow this anymore. Like, I'm sorry that that's like the world we live in. But I think now you're finally in a place now that because I just feel like the 9 wands, you had 9 examples. Like for something that it's like, it took a lot of your strength. And it happened, it was like there was 9 repeat offenses. So it's like anything that's like a repeat offender in your life is succubus. Because they keep bringing you back to the same, Jesus Christ, it just takes too much. And I think this was the month where you had the last of that. This was the time in your life where you had the last spoonful of bullshit from whatever you've been allowing in your life to do this to you. Like I said, last message was going to be titled, This Is Not Build-A-Bitch. Get out of my castle is what you're on. Because it's my castle, right? It's one thing if you share a life with someone who also could have their own castle. But they don't, right? So the kicking out of the castle is the thing. I just think like this was a process, Capricorn, because these are boundaries you need to set. Like I said, it could be long-term, short-term, but it's like the same beast. It's like everywhere in your life. You need to set boundaries in a way that is appropriate so that you are one, also comfortable with this. I think this is the other thing, is like, it's a very to the point message. Like, I just want you to be comfortable that sometimes your words have power. Not sometimes, all the time. Right? Because there's Capricorns who are powerful in their actions, but people, the way you were raised and shit makes you think that the tongue, what you say, doesn't go. But I think you're waking up to the fact that you're about to say something and it brings a tower down. You say something and it's like, niggas, the fucking fugazi shit is done now. And I want you to liberate yourself. I want you to really think about, in Aquarius season, that fucking truth that you go up as a page. This isn't a truth that you're telling because you've always been really good at telling it. No, right? And you're facing demons. The boundaries you're putting up against are against succubus. People who are sucking all of your fucking energy. And I think the real root of it is you're saying this because you're trying to, something is attracting you and you want to offer it something. I think the other thing is the succubus is in the way. You're giving, Capricorn, you were giving an offer to something, and the energy, time, resources that you're giving to that thing are actually meant for something else. So you know that now because they did it 9 times in a row. Like, again, the succubus right now are going to be tweaking out because they're demonic. So they don't really know that they're just looping on a code. And then once people like break into consciousness, it's like, oh, you're just looping on code. You're like sick in the head and you're like not good. Okay. But now it's become very evident where it's like, oh, right. All that energy that, if I cut this energy out of my life now, all that energy that I used to invest in the ideals of them and the bullshit and the illusions, that's actually still energy. That's actually still time and money. And because I think you're seeing it, it's like Dennis yesterday, like he like vomited twice. Because like, again, he's just like in his energetics, he's like turning off the faucet of giving to certain demons, and then he's got to turn on the faucet and start giving and watering things that have never received water because the water that was for it was going to succubuses. So his body, it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of this kind of fucking feeble energy. But you are now in the position where it's like, I have retrieved all of those nutrients back by like segment intending with what I can and can't do anymore because it's not giving an equal give and take. And again, you only attract succubus. You don't have to worry about succubus in your life. You only really attract succubus if you actually have beef with God. That's what I'd be saying. Like, my Capricorns, I love them, but I embrace you guys more than anyone because y'all are the Dementor. You represent the devil. You could easily be anti-God. Easily. You have the life experience to be anti-God. Right? So I don't want that for you guys. So that's why I really work with the guys who could be the biggest villains. That's why I'm a warning star. Because I want my husband to choose the highest octave. He's going to have a lot of power and influence on this human realm. I don't want him to be a bad guy. I want him to be a good guy. He has a lot of reasons to be a bad guy. The guys didn't do him pretty proper at all. So I just want him to be a positive guy. And he's on the route to being a positive guy now. Because I was like, whoa. Let's not take it out on God and the planet. Let's just call that demon a demon. Let's cut those bitches off. You know what I mean? Let's get them off the tap. You know, let's do the last call and tell these bitches to fucking take the Uber on back out of here, you know, before we fucking start tweaking on everybody else. Yeah. Capricorn, this is what's happening. You're already ready to invest in the things that you're actually attracted to. You have an offer for that. And I just feel like at the same time, the hardest part is this bozo bitch has no idea that it's like, to the left, everything you own in the box to the left. You've already got, it's like, you see how I just said, we already called you an Uber? Yeah, you already have a plan, Capricorn. Because I think, I don't even have to overstate this. Only you know how much over time this thing is stole from you. I just feel like it's requiring all of your God strength at this time, because this thing that you are cutting off right now has sucked all of your life's abundance up. They were trying to destiny swap with you. If you think you have a lot, you were supposed to have 40 times as much as you have. And I think you know that now. You might be like, I have so much more than most people. And yet it was supposed to be bigger. You were supposed to have way more already by now. And this negative reinforcement, this succubus demon that you are now because you're not beefing with God, God restored your fucking spiritual vision so you can see demons clearly now. Yeah. And it's not going to feel too great. It's not. But I think the surprise you're about to give them is like, here's your car. You can go. You're going to do it calmly. There's not going to be no fighting, no arguing. None of that. I'm going to drop your bitch ass off and I'm not coming to pick you back up. You won't be coming back. No. I'll email you your shit. How about that? Yeah. Because this thing wanted you to fear that you were supposed to be successful in relationships. I think the problem with this succubus energy in whatever role, it could have been a parent, could have been a fucking partner, it could have been a boss dynamic, it could have been anyone. But I just think the issue is the whole time they were making you terrified of true love. They were trying to make you scared of what you really desire, who actually matches you. I'm seeing a lot of Capricorns where it's like this succubus came in, like I said, and it's like you were already introduced to what like true love felt like by the time the succubus entered your life. You already had it on your blueprint to walk down. That's why they targeted you, because they saw your shit in the ether. This succubus may be nothing but a dumb demon, but they're super conscious. That's the thing that sucks, is they're super conscious. And I think they robbed you of a life of true love. Even if you're still holding your true love in your hands, like my husband, there are certain demons in his life that have completely tried to destroy our marriage and our union and his perception of me and his ability to feel successful in our union. Because our union requires Dennis to be his authentic self, not the fucking version that his fucking mom designed him to be. You know? And so to me, it is his most important thing right now, because how do you quantify all the days where he was giving and saving real estate in his heart and his mind and his soul for bitches who were nothing but succubus to him, and actually are fucking trying to gaslight him out of fucking what he feels. Dennis and I are soulmates, as in pre-code, as in we came here and incarnated together for a reason. For a reason. And this thing, I think, made you into a fearful person, you know? Fearful of divine love. And that's the only reason, Capricorn, I just don't want you to feel bad, because no one is judging. I think that people are looking at you like, Capricorn, why do you fucking fuck with somebody so busted? They're nothing like you. Like, why do you fucking keep that around? People have been saying that to you for years, it seems like. And it just seems like, you know, you didn't realize like how much this thing is like, the only way that they can talk you into doing this dumb contract of fucking agreement of fucking keeping each other in each other's lives is because they made you scared of true love. So you were fearing true love more than you were looking for clarity, and then you were just keeping this thing on the side, building life with it or fucking ruining your life. But your outcome is the King of Cups. 7 of Pentacles. Capricorn, finally, everything is on the table. You're not a part of you grew a life, you grew your legacy without manipulation. You did it naturally. From your real intuitive feminine principle, from the ability to create the life that you wanted. You did that. And that's why you have the 4 of Wands. That's why you are the King of Cups at the end of this Aquarius season. Because when you cut all this out, I think that you think you're fucking further behind than you are, because this thing is distorting your sense of time. It's distorted all of your achievements. I just see like these are long-term people that like things that needed to be cut out of Capricorn's life, because you've been building a long-term life with this influence, and I think it's just been completely influencing how you see your progress. You are already a King of Cups, and I don't think you feel like that. And that's the thing that I hate the most for you, Capricorn, is that like you are that. You are already the CEO. You all already are the greatest mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin, uncle. You already are that. And the problem with Capricorns is they don't feel like it. They don't feel like they are what they do. You know, I look at my fucking father-in-law and I'm like, dude, you are an architect. What? That is the most high-paid artist job that you could get. And he doesn't, I just don't watch him walk around feeling like what we all, it's like, I feel very honored to know one architect in my life, let alone let it be my father. I'm blessed. I don't know any other, I mean, it's not true, but it's like knowing someone who runs a label, like that's my husband. It's like, dude, like, but he doesn't, every day he's dealing with all this dumb shit, like all this shit. And it's like, dude, you don't know, why do you not feel like what you are? And it's because I can tell them where there are succubuses in their life, where it's like, brother, if you keep this non-truth in your life, saying that it is playing some role that it's not playing for you, that's actually the exact reason why every time the wheel turns for you and you get abundance, you don't feel, and then you just start warring and freaking out, because it's like, it'll be your birthday and you don't feel like it is what it is. It'll be your fucking wedding and it's like you don't feel like, or you just got a promotion, you never fucking feel like what it is. You know? And that's all. Because I think you were beefing with God, saying God's not giving you enough. God's not providing enough for you. God already answered your prayers like 1,000,000 years ago. And now you have to be honest with yourself. And Aquarius is like, that's absolutely the truth. Everything I have today, I once was only a figment of my imagination. My home, my career, my kids, my family, my whatever. It was all things that once upon a time, like, you didn't have. And you know now that it's like, yeah, God definitely delivered me. So I can't blame God and say God's not giving me enough. That Capricorn, this finally cutting this off will stop you from always blaming God for not giving you enough. God gave you more than enough. This person was just taking from you. Finally, look at you. When you celebrate your victory, this is also about feeling as valuable. I think Capricorn, you've been hitting, my husband is on 77, 78, 78, and it's like, you know, we always celebrate. I am my husband's keeper in terms of like grounding him and being like, everything you do is huge. Every single hair on your head is a big deal. And, you know, finally, it feels like cutting off the succubus in your life will help you when you do have a victory to actually feel it. You know, one of the things I wanted to give to my Capricorns this birthday, the two men that mean the just the most in my life, because they kind of are like the blueprint of like what I'm building. It's like Dennis and Dennis, my dad and my husband, you know, I really, for them this year, I wanted them to feel it, you know, I wanted to take them to their favorite places. I wanted them to have the best of what and I didn't even have shit, brother. Mind you, I was coming off of homelessness and I made crazy proper shit happen. But, you know, this year, I just really wanted to go the extra mile to be thoughtful, to let them know it's like, I want you to feel like what you do, because you guys sit around and you keep, and it's because they're just lovers. They genuinely love these succubuses. They love these people, but you can't, no more Capricorn can you be like, I love you, but you fucking destroy me. Anything that just sits around and actually just like wants to destroy what you have, you know, you can save your love for things that would love you back equally. But I just watched my father-in-law like smile in his spirit. It's honestly like, I'm not even tooting my own horn. It actually just made me upset. You know, like I would just be giving him little gifts throughout the week, taking him, throwing him his birthday party dinner, and, you know, doing the fucking organizing the live music and the band and the salsa classes and stuff. And I'm doing all this for him because I know that's what he loves. And I know so much of it's like repressed, you know, so much of he doesn't just, but like to look at him and just to know, like, mind you, I haven't been making, I don't, like, for the work I do, I get paid like even keeled, you know what I mean? I get paid on those, you know, and even I will take my little beans and just be thoughtful, and just like the smile that I could bring out of my father-in-law just by giving him some fucking circus peanuts. Because one time he was like, that's my childhood feel. Like when I want to be in childhood land and I see circus peanuts nearby, that like just brings out my inner child. And so then I just go and do that for him. So I just heard him say it and like, let's go do it. And it just like, I would watch him just like, because he's connecting to feeling again. But I don't want also Dennis and my dad to think that like he has to because Dennis, sometimes I'm like, Dennis, I do a bunch of nice stuff to you because you're my husband. I absolutely adore you. But guess what? There's a world full of people just like me who would also be just fucking thoughtful, kind. I mean, if they fucking like you, they do all this for you. So Capricorn, I don't want you to feel so isolated anymore. You're not separate from the group. The group fucking adores you. The group, and then that's why you always feel disconnected from the group, because you always feel like the group is talking shit about you. They're talking shit about your succubus. And the ways that you now, by staying long-term connected to a succubus, kind of act like the succubus. Because they're taking from you, and you don't know, you're subconscious about it. You're going blind, you're putting your blinders onto it. But they are taking from you, you know? So I really, really am so excited for you, because it looks like February, it's like you're going to be having yet another victory, yet another celebration, Aqua season. But this time, when you're riding, when you're taking your horse, you actually feel it, you know? You actually feel like you feel like your achievements. And again, it's all contingent on whether or not where you're at with your boundaries. Because I think this person, this energy is an extreme situation. It's an extreme individual. This isn't just like someone who's pushing your boundaries. This is like an abuser, succubus, dark, demonic frequency that's attacking Capricorn and has been attacking you majority of your life. Maybe all your life. That's why it's not small, but that's why this big of a change happens. That's why you immediately get put on a throne, King of Cups style. Immediately once you cut it, once you set the boundary. Right? The same demon succubus has been haunting you your whole life in bodies of a bunch of people. Because they've been trying to fucking whisper to you, fuck true love. Don't even go for it. Right? That's where your happiness, and that's what true love is, what makes a Capricorn feel the most successful. True love. True love. True divine love makes Capricorn feel happy. Feel the best. Feel like when I go get the house, when I go get the car, when I put you, You know, when I take my family on the vacation, I just want you to feel it, you know? And everything I've ever suggested to my husband, to my dad, and to any Capricorn in my life has been like, before you go offer more to someone else and to everyone else, just make sure that who you're giving it to is going to help you feel it. Because I've watched my fucking father-in-law fucking pay for everybody to go to Europe. Everybody, extended aunties, everybody on his tab. Okay? It'd be like 10K for each bitch to fucking go to Europe. And he got it. 12 bitches going to Europe, you know? And I just don't want him leaving that not feeling it. It's like, nigga, that's like once in a lifetime type of ability if you can do that. You know? And I just don't want him fucking going and doing shit because he's got succubuses that don't make it feel as fun. Like, my husband has fucking revived the entire music world. Just by stimulating the economy. Just by being the freakazoid that he is and running the label that he runs. With the integrity that it has. But he does so much for everybody else, and I just don't want him to keep going. Every time he drops an album, I'm like, Dennis, oh my God, baby, we can't make this a self-harm thing. You are major. You are the fucking moment, dude. But this succubus energy, it's like, it's just taking all of that. And that's why you always, and then Capricorn, I think you kind of develop this annoying personality where it's like, you're fucking going around on your Timmy Chalamet trying to like, because that's why Timmy Chalamet is acting like that right now. Because he doesn't know what the succubuses are in his own life, right? But so that's why he actually is starting to act like a succubus, right? My whole critique of him is like, okay, but like, y'all really did Bob Dylan so ugly. Mind you, this is still a touring musician. I was going to go see, I was trying to buy tickets to go see Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan on tour in Alpharetta 2024, summer 2024, right? But the way that he just hijacked that narrative didn't even include the living artist that's still alive, also making his own guap, making his own money, still doing it. It's like, you know, and so like if any old bitch can just decide to write about a living human being and say, I want to be the one to do your biopic, it's like Bob Dylan didn't even have a fucking choice in that. And then you go see that dumbass movie, baby. You go watch that movie and it's like, Timmy, if you want to be an art boy, if you're really an artist, let yourself be that. Because we really just watched a movie about like Timmy Chalamet. Like, I really was like, Timmy, why don't you just make your own documentary? Stop with the Marty. Stop trying to live out everybody else's life. And he's taking all these roles again, like that it's like, are speaking his truth for him. Like Marty Supreme is like what it's like how he feels. You know, Bob Dylan's how he feels. He has all these capacities and stuff. Like, I can play an instrument. I'm an artist. This is what he keeps trying to say. You know, but at the end of the day, it's like when you have succubus around you, that's why you're fucking walking around like Marty Supreme. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, Capricorn. Because now you look fucking insane. Now you kind of look like the culture vulture. Right? You don't need to do that. You probably should just like let go of the fucking Kardashian bitch that you're fucking, that's like, not, this is not, stop. Just be serious. Just be serious. Find bitches in your real life. You don't gotta do this shit for clout. Because any shit that you get sloshed up into trying to tell yourself, it's like, Capricorn, you don't need none of that. Just cut the fucking succubus. Cut it. Because you don't want to be looking like Timmy Chalamet out here. You don't. It's not gonna age well for him. It's not. Because it doesn't matter what the fucking box office numbers are, right? It never mattered how much you can produce, obviously, Capricorn. I just don't think that people are going to look back. I don't want you to look back and be like, I was not enjoying all these accomplishments. I was getting all these accomplishments and I didn't really feel anything. Because someone's still sucking from you. You could be winning a fucking Golden Globe and someone's still sucking fucking the life out of you. Even if he looks all happy and excited, ask him how he really felt. Ask God how these niggas really felt. Right? Dennis is dropping 77 and I just don't want him to be fucking like blacked out. You know? My father-in-law has lived a fucking entire fucking almost 40-year career at this point in architecture. Nigga, I want you to fucking feel something. I want you to feel that. I do not want you to go another fucking second because you got bums who are bumming you out in your corner because they're not what you are. So, I adore you, Cappies. This little message is for you. Like I said, I think you're already at the point of like, I don't need to tell you to kick out the book, bitch. I think you're at the other place now. This week did make you strong enough. I think this week showed you that what you can do on your own. You know, I think you finally like released a bit with the succubus and you really just started just like seeing how making plans to like do things for yourself, which is wonderful. And you started taking more accountability. And I think that was difficult, but you did it. And I think, you know, now it's like, yeah, it's possible. I've been doing my life for me, by myself. I haven't really been getting any help from a succubus. That's the one thing they don't do is help you. So I think you actually are ready to just like, okay. I'm okay with what like calling my energy back into me does, how much more I have to do for me, whatever that means. I think you're settled with that now. But you have just the best coming to you. You really do. Because you've always been a great person. That's what I'm saying. This isn't it so much about me telling you like, oh, you have this big thing coming. It's the same shit you always get. Same upgrade. You always get the promotion. You always get the job. You always get what you want. That's coming. Absolutely. I just want you to make sure you feel it for the next achievement you have. Because this thing, this entity, this energy that's been on your life since you were born, it's like, it's taken for every fucking opportunity you've ever had to be able to be sovereign and to feel good about what you're achieving. Again, Capricorn, I don't want you to be around people where it feels like it's been a long time since you've celebrated yourself. Celebrate yourself, my love. I love you guys so much. Happy Aquarius season. Come to my fucking birthday party. You guys rock. I'm just, this message means the most to me. I'm so glad that you guys are able to clear your spirits out in this way. Love you. Peace.